The next two problems you can solve using elimination, which is really nice. Number 3, when I look at my x's and my y's here, if I look at my y's have opposite signs, and I can very easily turn my 2y squared into a 4y squared. And I would do that by multiplying this whole line by 2. Now, when you do this, make sure you multiply every term. This is legal because it's an equation. And as long as you're doing the same thing to both sides of the equation, the same thing to every term, then you can multiply by something other than 1. So, you end up with 2x squared plus 4y squared equals 22. And this bottom line is that I don't need to change it, since I was able to get the 4y squareds to be opposite. So you want those opposites so that you can add. So at this point, we are going to add our like terms. That gives me 8x squared. My y terms cancel, and on the other side of my equation, I have 72. Divide both sides by 8. And take the square root. When you force the square root in a problem, you have to have a plus and minus. When you force that square root, you have to have plus minus. So it's going to give you a positive and negative 3. So those are your x values. And just like the last problem, we need to plug back in to find our y's. Unlike the last problem, no matter what we pick here, when we're plugging in the first thing we're going to do with that x is square it. So it doesn't matter if we're plugging in the positive 3 or plugging in the negative 3. So I'm going to use this first original equation to plug back into. And I'm going to plug in positive and negative 3 for that x squared. That's more for me than it is for anybody else. I just want to show, hey, this is my input, and what I get out for y is going to be my output. And this is potentially going to give us 4 solutions. So positive 3 squared would be 9, negative 3 squared would also be 9, which is why it works to put it in like that. Subtract your 9. Divide by 2, so that you have y squared equals 1, which means y is positive and negative. So our ordered pairs, when I put in positive 3, I'm going to get out positive 1 and negative 1. When I put in negative 3, I'm going to get both of those out as well. So these two circles have 4 solutions. So when I put in positive 3, I get out positive 1. When I put in positive 3, I also get out negative 1. When I put in negative 3, I get positive 1 out. And when I put in negative 3, I also get negative 1 out. Kind of a lot of work to check this on the normal TI-84 calculator, but you can do it. You just would have to solve for y in both situations there. Okay, that's number 3.